Hello everyone, welcome to the Clash Royale update news for the 22nd of February 2016. My name is Reverse with today's Clash Royale update news and info regarding the upcoming updates and changes happening into Clash Royale. Coming up today, we got a new Clash Royale update confirmed and 14 changes. For cards that are going to be happening, of which 2 will be entirely remodeled. Let's just go ahead and jump straight into this. A note from Supercell posting, of course, the card changes updates, also hinting towards a new update. They're saying everything that's going to be changing into the game, basically, but they're hinting towards a new update, which is very, very important. I would assume that card balancing is part of an update and not just the update. Updates, in my opinion, from what we know within the Supercell universe, that means every single Supercell game, an update is always new content being added to the game from the way it already was. So this is very exciting. This is going to be happening early February. I'm very stoked and excited, and of course I'll strive to bring you guys information. First, be sure to subscribe to stay updated with all of Clash Royale news and everything that's going to be changed into the game. That being said, with that update out of the way, there's 14 cards that are going to be changed in that update. I want to add on to that. Some cards got stronger while others got nerfed. 2 cards got remodeled entirely. That is very, very, very interesting. Now, from what I know, the Clash Royale team is right now looking for balance within cards, making sure that card changes are based on how the cards are being used. If some cards are not being used, they're more likely to buff up the card. If cards are being overused because they're overpowered, they're very naturally to be buffing them, to be nerfing them from the way they are right now. And then of course they come to some conclusions that they want to remodel cards entirely from the way they are right now, as they are going to be doing starting early February. So very interesting stuff. In the current version, there's simply too many cards that aren't really used a whole lot, and as a result they're just simply being buffed up. That's just the way it works. Anything for a balanced game before it goes globally. Now, still on the subject of global launch, still no information available. I'll be sure to make a separate video, so please stop asking me about this. I really have no idea when that's going to be. Every single YouTuber has no idea when the game is going to be launched. We will inform you. That's all I can say. That being said, let's just jump into all of the card changes right now. First off, the nerfs. These are cards that are going to be getting weaker from the way they are right now. Very interesting changes here. First off, the arrows. Damage decreased by 4%. I honestly don't think it's going to be affecting the arrows a whole lot. The arrows are simply being used to counter the goblin barrels, the minions, and the skeletons. So I would assume this is alright, you know. Not a really large change there. Freeze spell, that is a big change. The radius is being decreased and the duration is also being shortened. Now, the duration, that doesn't matter to me too much, but what I do care about is the radius. The radius being decreased from 4 to 3 is a big one. Now, I'm not sure if that makes it that the Crown Tower and the King Tower are no longer in the ability to be freezed together, because if that is the case, then this is a big change for sure. But we'll have to see about that after the next update. The Wizard, damage being decreased. I feel that's a justified nerf. I felt it was a really powerful card. In fact, in Clash Royale right now, it's being the most used card. Can you imagine the most used card in the game? The Wizard. That's crazy. It's used most among the top players, obviously. Not everybody has access to the Wizard yet, but it's being used most among the top players. It's slightly overpowered and has made the Bomber and the Musketeer nearly obsolete. Kind of sad news there. Barbarians also got a nerf in hit points. It is less tankish right now, having a 4% decrease in health. I feel that's a justified nerf. You can debate on that, but I feel the Barbarian could take down a tower by its own if you leave it. So I feel it's a justified nerf right there. Axe Bow finally being changed as well. The hit points have been decreased to 15% less. So the range is still there, the lifetime is still there. You can say that this might be an unfinished nerf, but later down this episode there's a couple of other defensive structures that are going to be changed. So this might be a justified nerf. For now, I'm just going to leave this one open. Then Inferno Tower, already the defense, got nerfed as well. Lifetime has been decreased from 16 seconds to 45 seconds. Now, The reason for this, Supercell said, their balancing principle is offense over defense, but Inferno Tower's very high rate use among the top players doesn't match this principle very much. Now, you gotta understand, Clash Royale is meant to be sort of a competitive type of game, so it's very natural that we're gonna be taking a look at the top players, as top players are able to kind of like abuse mechanics and such, and reinvent cards. So that's what they're taking a look at, and that's where they're getting the most amount of feedback from. I also felt that the Inferno Tower was there a little bit too long. 45 seconds, not too bad. It's still longer than most towers out there, so I'm all for that. So those are all of the nerfs that are happening into Clash Royale. Let's actually go and jump into the cards that got buffed. We spoke about it earlier, the Bomber. The Bomber got a attack speed increase. I think that's a cool one. It's a cheap card, it's a reliable card, it does splash damage, and overall it's a really great card. I didn't understand why it was used a whole lot. It is really effective in a low cost deck. If anything, I don't feel this card should have been buffed, but the buff is very, very minor anyway. It's just 0.1 second increase in speed, so I don't know, it's all up for debate. I think the next one is very important. The Golem had a major buff, and I mean huge. 43% health, damage and death damage being increased, and that would got taken away from the Golemites. So the Golemites got weaker and the Golem got stronger. Makes a whole lot of sense when you think about this. The P.E.K.K.A. got a it's kind of a situation. Where do you put this one? I decided to put it under buffed because the elixir cost. Elixir cost from 8 to 7 is major. The health has been decreased, but I think that the elixir cost makes this still a stronger card. For that 1 elixir, it is going to be costing you less. It kind of makes you doubt what 1 elixir exactly is worth. I'll touch upon that subject a little bit later today in this video. Then the Mirror. The Mirror, the most fun card in the game in my opinion, got a change as well. The level of mirrored cards of common type got increased by 4. The rare cards got increased by 2. That is the level. So if you deploy the mirror, if you use a common card, like let's say arrows, then on the mirror it's gonna be 4 level higher than the last arrows that you used, or than the mirror itself. I think it's on the mirror itself, yeah, that will make a lot more sense. So on the mirror itself, then +4, and then the rare cards +2, and then the epic cards is gonna be the same as it was before, which I think it was the equivalent, but it didn't specify that. I kind of wish that they did, but yeah, it's a great card, and it's cool that they're making a change on that. And then the Bomb Tower got a change as well. The attack speed got increased to 1.7 seconds per hit from the old 1.8. One of the least used cards into the game. They're hoping that this encourages people to try it out a little bit more. Barbarian Hut. So the Barbarian got a nerf, and the Barbarian Hut got a hit points increase, making it even more powerful than it already was. I already thought it was kind of powerful already, but you know what, people using fireballs and rockets and lightning spells, that isn't okay, and I think it's still sort of justified right there. Then, they reworked 2 cards entirely. Let's talk about those 2. So the first card that got completely reworked is the Cannon. It went from 6 elixir to 3 elixir, the range got decreased to 6 instead of 7, and the lifetime got 20 seconds being chopped off from 60 going to 40 seconds, and the hit points being decreased to 45% of the original. I think that's a major one. I think that is a big change, and I think that is going to make the Cannon a card that's going to be used far more on the battlefield than it is right now. Actually to the point where I think it's probably one of the best defenses in the game right now. 3 elixir is not a whole lot of elixir. It is the perfect defense in a costly effective deck. So I'm definitely seeing this card coming back there. It's going to be really interesting to see what kind of a change this Cannon is going to be making, because I feel that this makes the Cannon very much so a relevant card into the game. But be sure to take in mind, the Cannon only targets ground units, not air units, because if it was air, then that would have been overpowered, and that's not the case right now. I think this is a cool change and makes it very interesting. The Mortar! The Mortar, after last episode, also got a rework, a remodel entirely. Last time it got nerfed, right now it is remodeled entirely. Instead of 6 elixirs, right now going to be costing 4 elixir, the damage is decreased by 40%, and the lifetime is cut in half. It is right now 20 seconds instead of 40. And that's an interesting change because I feel that that makes the Mortar a finisher card instead of a regular defense. If you place the Mortar at double experience time, this card can be really powerful. Can be really powerful. But it's only 20 seconds, so it's a quick placement card, quick reward, something like that, high risk, high reward kind of card. It's a cool card right now. That's what I can say. It's going to be very nice to be using this Mortar, and it's going to be pretty interesting to experiment with this. So these are all of the changes happening into Clash Royale. So I gotta say, these changes are, in one word, interesting. They really are. I think it's good that they take the feedback of the community so to heart when it comes down to rebalancing these cards. They really do listen to what we have to say when it comes down to this. They actually did nerf the Expo, which I very much like to see. I still think the Expo is a little bit powerful, but I think with the cannon and a mortar, it should be pretty interesting to see how this is going to be playing out. Now, of course, I still expect to see a whole lot of Expo decks, but by now there should be plenty of videos on the web how to counter the Expo, so I don't think that's that much of an issue. I want to quickly touch upon the free subject. I think it's really interesting. If it's no longer able to get both of them together, the Crown Tower and the King Tower, I think it's going to make for some major game changes, because I really love the fact that if you take down the Crown Tower, that you're also able to take down the King Tower, and if that's no longer the case, then it's going to be it's a bigger nerf than I thought it originally was going to be. So that's something we're gonna have to figure out once the update drops. Then the Golem and P.E.K.K.A situation, because I think that's going to be something up for debate as well. One elixir drop for the P.E.K.K.A, the Golem getting stronger. It really makes you wonder, what exactly does one elixir mean? What should one elixir give you for stats? I think there's going to be people along the line that in like a year from now are gonna have worked out exactly what one elixir should be giving you, and everything above average you should use in your deck, and everything below average you shouldn't use in your deck. I think it's gonna be pretty interesting to find ways to measure something like that. How much is one elixir? I challenge you guys to find out exactly what one elixir exactly means or should mean in a game like Clash Royale. I think it's interesting. I haven't seen the P.E.K.K.A a whole lot of in action. I have seen the Golem a whole bunch in action. So, I'm not sure. I think the Golem might be a little bit too powerful now. But that's up for debate, because it is still, what, 8 elixir that you're sacrificing for that. And the P.E.K.K.A, once again, is a really strong card. I mean, it does so much damage in that in the slashes. So it's just, I don't know for sure. So as always, I want to invite you guys of the Clash Royale community to leave a comment in the comment section down below, expressing your thoughts and your opinions. Do you agree with these changes? Do you disagree? What do you think still needs to be changed? What do you think needs to become stronger, be nerfed? I want to know from you guys what you think. Also, are you guys excited for the new Clash Royale update? Now, I know for a fact that some of you who aren't able to play the game are like, you know, I don't really care because I'm not able to play the game. But I think it's cool that Supercell is really working on this game, and I think this game is here for the long run. I think that's something that we can already conclude based off what we've seen. I don't see Clash Royale being shut down anytime soon by the amount of players that are right now playing the game. Is, in one word, awesome. That being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, make sure that if you guys like this video to boom, go for the thumbs up. That being said, this is Reverser for Clash Royale. I'm gonna be signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next one.